Welcome to Kaya's Corner. Man, it's been a minute. Blake, Kaya, where have you been? Ooh, I have been working for real. Um, Number one, hi. Uh, Thank you for hanging in there while things have been a bit inconsistent. I'm going to share the fullness of what has taken place and why I have been inconsistent. It's not for lack of work ethic or discipline. Um, it's really abundance. And I'm not going to share a story about myself. I'm going to share a story about my daddy first. So about last year, my dad is a serial entrepreneur, as am I. And my dad got really invested and excited about Airbnb. His girlfriend, shout out to you, Rose. I will just say life partner at this point because they've been together double digits, decades. She has owned and operated an Airbnb for quite some time. And my dad actually came in and he built it and helped refurbish it and renovate it. It's in Washington, D.C. It is absolutely stunning. I love staying there. So if y'all in D.C., stay in the Airbnb. But of course, knowing how profitable it is, my dad went and got a few more properties in Baltimore, right? And and he actually helped renovate my late aunt's Airbnb and still operates that to this day, and then has two other properties that are currently being renovated into up to the Crosby standard for Airbnbs. And so, uh, just listening to my father talk over, I don't think I ever understood. Just listening to him talk, listening to him plan, process, and create just all the things that go along with coordinating these ventures. He is such a visionary. He can see something from the beginning to the end, and with the proper resources and tools, is able to execute a wonderful result. I mean, my father is actually really gifted in all of the hands-on, you know, traditional man skills. He can build a house from the ground up, and actually did do so in order to pay for my, freshman year of college at Morgan State University. So, I've seen woodwork and carpentry that he's done that's just so intricate and beautiful. I grew up hanging sheetrock and, helping him strip and wax floors and all those things. Like my first job was at like 12, okay? So we have a very strong work ethic, and but we also have big ideas. Always want to work for ourselves. Don't, we have something that we want to create, and the execution is going to be like all time consuming. Well, you know, all these things kind of fell into my dad's lap right at the same time because honestly, my aunt transitioned in December of last year. And so he was already working on his Airbnb purchases, but then with her transition, he ended up inheriting two others, right? And so that's four. That's so different. Now, when you have abundance like that, what do you do? What do you do? How do you manage that? I mean, like you're one person, you set off and started off a goal and you had this much stuff, and then God moved and things shifted and things changed and transitions took place, and now you have that much stuff times two. What do you do? Right? What do you do with abundance? I wouldn't have had the answer until about a month and a half ago, where in 1 week's time, I got offered maybe four business opportunities, um, all of them in alignment with my beliefs, my values, things I could be passionate about, things that I find valuable, things I find important. And honey, do you think Blake Kaya turned any of them down? No. Because I felt like at the time that spirit was saying, figure it out, I did get a reading. I did, consult my ancestors, and they didn't give me no real clarity either. There was a lesson about making sure I charge my worth and making sure that I don't miss out on my blessings and that I speak up for what I deserve, because I am really generous. And if something is easy for me to do, I don't necessarily see the reason to hit somebody else over the head to do it. Um, especially since in my life I've always had abundance and I've always received things in abundance. And so I'm not nitpicky, I'm not tit for tat, I'm not petty when it comes to business. But at the same time, I don't necessarily think I have been practicing prioritizing me and really honoring the excellence that I provide and ensuring that I am compensated appropriately for those things. Um, it's a balance, right? Because in capitalism, you're dealing with a belief system that isn't necessarily in alignment with what I believe spiritually or my people. We come from a barter system. People of African descent come from the exchange of goods. This whole dollar and being in debt and all of that is not normal. And I understand the more that I live, just how painfully challenging capitalism is, and the fact that we are so conditioned in this day and age to well, that's how I Family Matters. It's so we're conditioned. Okay, but we're so conditioned in this day and age to expect to work, and are now at a place in economically where we work to survive. A lot of us work to survive. It's not many of us who work earn enough to be able to elevate and get ourselves to a place where we're like that 1% of society who simply delegates for a living. And maybe not even so. I honestly, from where I am and my superiors in certain places, and I see what they do, I'm clear that people who are in higher positions don't necessarily work harder. It is my understanding, and like the person at McDonald's who works the hardest is the one on the grill or the one cleaning the floors. Like who fits like I think that person works the hardest and probably doesn't make the most. The CEO, like and I'm gonna just say this. For example, one of my new jobs, I am in an executive position. And in that executive position, it was hard for me to even realize, child, I was ready to do all of the work. And they were like, no, we need you to be free to simply talk. So we have people in place to do 95% of the work that I was expecting to do. I just delegate and tell other people to do it. Imagine being offered a position and you're so excellent and so qualified, but you don't even know that. And you come in ready to do project management level work, and they're like, no, you're in executive leadership. And I'm like, huh? Huh? What that mean? Honey, God is good. We ask for abundance and then you receive it. And sometimes you're not ready for it. You have absolutely no idea, no clue whatsoever, and you have to learn. I ain't gonna throw it away. I ain't gonna be like, you know what, this doesn't fit me. I need to be the one who's making all of the graphics. I need to be the one who's making sure all the copy is correct. I need to be no. They're like, no, honey, we need you to be point. We need you to be the visionary. We need you to delegate from the top. So there's that challenge, right? Then there's another challenge where I'm coming into other spaces and places that are not as developed, right? And who don't have the manpower or the bandwidth. And so I'm coming across opportunities to create lanes, not only for other people, but for myself to be able to really earn in this gift. So y'all have seen me come on here and I'm talking about life coaching, I'm talking about wellness, I'm talking about all those things. And those are all my personal endeavors and aspirations and goals. And then in the business world, have been consistently, and I mean like consistently pushed into marketing and business. I did not go to college for marketing. I did not go to any kind of formal. When I tell you 15 years ago, I don't even know how I was just good at social media. I was just on social media. And a friend of mine was like, can you do mine? I'll pay you. And then I did it. And then other people were like, who does your social media? And they were like, oh, this girl Blake does. And they was like, oh, can you give me your number? And then they was like, oh yeah, can you do mine? I'll pay you. And it just kept going that way. And then someone was like, hey, this college is hiring um, for social media. Do you want to, can you You apply? I'm like, cool, I'll apply. Apply to where I currently work and applied as a social media manager. Now I'm currently the head of marketing for my area. And in between that, was sent through a rigmarole of other processing jobs that really took me out because before I started, I was just a creative. I'm just like the socialite. Honey, this job sent me through, but I had to learn all of these project management skills and processes outside of my job description. Fast forward, I do promotional work for an organization at no charge just because I love it. My work is on display in front of thousands of people. Someone there happens to say at this particular event that I helped to curate, someone there happened to say, "Oh, I work for a firm. Would you like to come on board?" Got hired, double salary, but at the same time, I'm on this wellness track, and it's like a coaching. I had invested about $5,000 in a business coach and all these things. At what point does one shift and surrender what you want for what's being repeatedly shown to you? At what point? I can't believe I'm at this crossroads right now. Um, and it's not that I have to stop doing the things that I feel passionate about, but it's also that I should probably pay attention to the things that are outside of me, what I've been practice what I've been preaching about, honey, this is not your life. This is, you are in rented space and time. You're here for a purpose. If God keeps putting you in these places and spaces and it comes to you with ease, lean in. Why you fighting? Surrender. Honey, these last 4 weeks I've been fighting, right? Because simply for me, change is always a struggle. I do really well with consistency, like the exact same thing. When like I've been doing meal prep and paying for meal prep, I not having to think about what I'm about to eat, that works for me. If I have to go to the grocery store, sit down, plan, write, thesisize what I'm gonna eat, cook it, and clean it up, and it's I'm not doing that. I'm not doing. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So sending someone $100 something every week it works well for me. And so that has been the theme of this season, like over and over and over again. All these things I keep trying to do myself. Okay, so I this year, shout out to Cause of Effect. I volunteered for the Metro 5K. And volunteer with Cause of Effect and get the promotion and the marketing for the Metro 5K. And through that marketing, we doubled our attendance, which is wonderful. And that made me very proud. On the day of, do you know I was out there trying to lift tables? I thought about this morning. I was out there trying to like set tables up. And mind you, we have earned and accumulated a whole host of volunteers because many hands make light work. We got grown men out there. We have 7 people. This is the sick part. The one table I was trying to set up, and then my coach came in, shout out to Shayon Green, and he's like, Blake, put the table down. Why are you set up the table when you're the one who knows what this whole thing is supposed to look like? I had 2 wonderful assistants who made sure that I was eating and drinking throughout the entire time, which I barely did because I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. There were 100 something, 50 volunteers. 100, there was 100 something, 150 volunteers who came to help set up and just give and donate their time to support this cause. What you doing? Why are you and when it came time for the tables to get set up, you know how many people was carrying one table? 4. 4 to 5. Blake over there trying to carry one. Blake trying to carry a table by herself. It's 4 to 5 people. Sometimes your patterns, your beliefs, your old behaviors just gonna completely block your elevation. And so in this season, I have been taking the time. Have I felt pressured about Kaya's Corner? 100%. Have I felt pressured about the Purge Palace? 100%. Am I like freaking out? Yes, I'm freaking out. Am I being called to something way greater? 100%. Do I have more than I had before? 100%. What's got to shift in here? Me. Me, I'm not confused about what I need to do to be successful. I'm not confused about what I need to take care of myself. There's no confusion. It's simply execution. Blake, you don't have to do your laundry anymore. You pay Poplin to do it. Blake, you don't have to cook anymore. You pay somebody to do it. Blake, you don't have to clean your house anymore. You pay somebody to do it. Why did you make those decisions? Because you didn't have the time and you was walking around, you was stressed out because there was clothes everywhere and oh, that's been fixed. Cool. Blake, you now have 50 jobs and you haven't been to any kind of spiritual space. Well, I have, but not in a way that I used to. Not in the way I used to. Blake, you got 50 jobs. Your presence at the gym has gone. I think I went to the gym for the first time last week to work out outside of like the cardio for training 2 days. I spent all of 2024 going at 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 to 4 days consistently for like a year. Now, the gym struggle started with change when I moved into this house because I was in an apartment in Buckhead. But something about the move just threw me off. And mind you, I live way close to the gym, and yet it's become so much harder for me to be consistent there. Okay, so I say all this to say, with more wealth, you need more skills and more tools. It doesn't necessarily make life easier. It doesn't. You have to have your foundation intact. I have spent this entire weekend making sure that my foundation is intact going forward. There are some conversations I need to have. There's some boundaries I need to set. There's some fears I need to let go. There was some stuff I was doing too much of. Some stuff people weren't even asking me of. Why? Because I was worried that I wasn't enough. I went into this marketing executive job, and I'm more qualified. I truly am more qualified than the majority of the people there. And it was like this week, the lights went on. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. None of y'all know what y'all doing. And I've been over here like killing myself because I'm worried that I'm not doing a good job. Even though people have been telling me this whole time, you've been doing amazing. I'm like, can't be. You mean to tell me that this 6-figure job is this easy to me? And maybe God is at the back of my head like, yeah, sis, I was trying to. Did you think maybe, your journalist mother and, no shit. I'm saying like award-winning journalist. My mother is an Emmy award-winning journalist. Did you think you wouldn't be great in community mass comm? And so then I had to reflect, I'm like, dang, why did I lean so heavy into psychology and lean so heavy into life coaching and things like that? That was my own healing journey. And sometimes your healing journey isn't your purpose. I'm not saying it ain't, but I'm saying sometimes your healing journey, like it's like, okay, if you go outside and break your leg and then you go get a cast, that doesn't necessarily mean that you should become a doctor. Some people do that. Some people are inspired by traumatic events and it becomes their life's work and their life calling. But depending upon who you are and how you're built, maybe sometimes healing through that tragedy is just making room for the thing that you're actually supposed to do. So, I come to you all because I want to be vulnerable. I want to be transparent. I'm not trying to pretend like everything's perfect. I'm doing the best I can with what I got. I am simply human. You gonna see the ebb and flow of my life and transparent. I ain't hiding. I ain't shamed. I ain't scared. I just been working. Sometimes social media just don't get it. Like don't. Even though I work in social media now, let's be clear. I've been cleared my jobs, but you ain't seen the post from me. You haven't. You haven't. And that's just because sometimes when you're in the middle of transition, I'm not going to be able to stop and press record and record the situation. But I'm gonna come to you. It won't be too long. I'm gonna come. I'm gonna let you know what's going on. Hey, baby, get with me. I'm still here, just doing what I gotta do. If you care, some of us don't give a damn what I got going on. And that's cool. Feelings mutual. So, that's what's going on in Kaya's corner. That is what has been going on in Kaya's corner. That's what we're working through. Stay tuned. There are gems that come along the way. There are gems that come out through the process, and I will be happy to share them transparently with you all as I continue to grow and try to be the best me I can be. With that being said, though, um, it became very clear to me that surrender looks like doing what you know you're supposed to do. And since 15 years ago, I have been working with Black owned businesses and working with Black people in supporting their marketing needs and supporting their social media needs and supporting their event needs. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. I'm excellent at it. I love it. I can execute from top to bottom. I'm great with systematic structure. As long as I have the time, space, and the resources in order to move, I'm gonna show up and show out. You know what I mean? I'm diligent, flexible. Um, love all my teammates that I work with in respective places. Know how to lead with love and conversation and communication, and also willing to get in there and stick through it with the hard times with people. Because sometimes folks be late, they ain't got stuff, they ain't organized, they don't know they don't know nothing. And just because you don't have the resources, if I have them, you should have them too. You should have them too. So I'm going to be officially taking on marketing and social media clientele. I have built out the systems. I have built my website. I have built all the things that I need in order to flow effectively as a business. I've already, of course, am certified and have business structure at this point to be able to facilitate. So we just going out there. That's what we're going to do. That right there is going to streamline my focus, remove the fluff and the fat of the things that aren't serving me, because I still am in transition space. I still am, although I have gained abundance, it's not to the place where I can completely drop the things I don't prefer. And maybe I shouldn't yet, because I'm telling you, the job that I have struggled with deeply has been the one to provide me the most education in this field. And I have been kicking and screaming the whole time, but I have to just sit back and say, thank you, God. Thank you, God. It's so crazy. It's so crazy how you could feel slighted, you could feel used, abused. I'm not being paid when I'm supposed to be paid. My job description don't match what I do. They ain't doing it. Nobody answering the phone, responding to emails. And at the same time, you come out because you've had to work around and work around and work around because you got bills. In capitalistic America, come out a boss, completely qualified to probably run your own marketing firm from top to bottom. Me? Yes, me, motherfucker. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to cuss. But it just makes me so excited because it's true. And so just, be on the lookout. I will be posting that kind of content because that's gonna be my new job. I want to serve and I want to give people access. And there's so many people who have asked me for it. I have not been able to give it because I haven't had the systems in place to be able to sustain it. Well, that's what I've been doing. So anyway, thank you for tuning into Kai's Corner. Love y'all. Stay tuned. We're going to just keep rolling it out. I will be launching Marketing Mondays. I may have said that before, but I'll be launching Marketing Mondays, but then also giving you all access to my calendar so that you can book consultations as needed for your business ventures. Even if you are just not necessarily technologically savvy with certain systems. I know a lot of CRMs and a lot of different formats for when it comes to marketing, promoting, and sustaining a system to market and promote your business yourself, right? Because if you're an entrepreneur, you might not necessarily be able to afford full-time staff, but we want to scale. In order to scale, you have to increase your clientele. In order to increase your clientele, you have to let your clientele know that you're there. And you have to make it easier for them to access your products. And you do that through marketing. So from social media to events, your girl is available. Pop out, pop up, hit me up. I am not going to rob you blind. I just need to make sure my lights is on and you spread the word so I can scale, okay? Because I need to hire me a few graphic designers and things like that. You speak it into existence, Lord. Have your will be done. Anyway, have a wonderful Sunday, a wonderful week, and until next time, stay black. But lucky you, you don't have a choice. Peace.